Good. It is 12 o'clock. Normally we would get started, but, and we do have a quorum right now, but we do have 2 more board members or commissioners who are going to show up. So if it's okay with you, we're going to show them a little grace and give them a couple of minutes, okay, before we get started. You guys need a few minutes or
No,
get
good.
settled? Ready to go? Sure. All right, well, welcome everyone. At this time, I will call the meeting to order, as well as like to say Monroe County. Monroe County is now open for business. So it's time to get started. The first order of business, or the second one, we have the Pledge of Allegiance. Norm, would you mind leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please? Right.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Right. Thank you. Moving on, and we have a jam-packed agenda today, so if you guys don't mind, I'm going to try to speed through a lot of this stuff. Okay. The third item that we have on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from the last meeting. At this time, is there a motion and a second to approve the minutes from the July 21st, 2026 meeting?
So moved.
All right, moved by Brian, seconded by Rhett. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, any objections? No abstentions? The motion carries. The next item on the agenda, we have public comments. We have, I believe, only 2 individuals who are signed up to speak today. The first is Ms. Heidi Butler. Ms. Butler, would you please join us at the podium, please, and
Yes.
provide us with your comments.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My name's Heidi Butler, as you've just heard. Thank you for the opportunity to speak today. I appreciate that you serve on this board because you care about Monroe County. and are not compensated for your time and efforts and bring a wealth of experience and knowledge. I am here as a member of Color Rochester Green, a resident of Monroe County, and a retired pediatrician. As I understand it, COMIDA is tasked by Monroe County, among its many other jobs, to protect and promote the health and safety of its residents. It is also responsible for following the county's climate action plan. I suspect that each of you is as concerned and perhaps as alarmed as I am watching our previous status as climate stable rapidly disappear. This summer here, we have experienced multiple days of wildfire smoke, high temperatures, torrential rainstorms, and local flooding, all of which have threatened our health and safety. It will only get worse. Daily we read about floods, droughts, wildfires, extreme heat all over the U.S., most recently in Indiana, Hawaii, and in other countries. We did not cause these catastrophes, or did we? I believe that each of us is responsible for global warming, and that we have to make changes now, not in the future. It is imperative that we cut greenhouse gas emissions. We have to do this on every level: personal, institutional, commercial, governmental. Our lack of action affects everyone, near and far. May I urge COMIDA to insist that all new housing and commercial buildings forego the use of fossil fuels for heating air, water, and food. That all buildings incorporate energy-saving features, and when feasible, add solar, battery, and EV charging capacity. COMIDA has the power to deny or reward incentives and pilot funds, and should be using that power to guide builders. It is practical and completely possible to do so. It has been done in Rochester. It is the right thing to do. Thank you for your consideration.
Excellent. Thank you, Ms. Beeler. Next up, we have Mr. Alan Blair. Mr. Blair, welcome.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
I'm Alan Blair. I'm a volunteer for Citizens Climate Lobby. We're a bipartisan group dedicated to building political will for durable climate solutions. I'm also a physician, which means that facts are really important to me. If I get my facts wrong, patients can die. So I'm concerned about your decision to go with natural gas heating and appliances for the new multifamily housing projects you've recently approved for tax breaks. Based on what I know, that decision may have been made with the wrong facts. At your July 26th meeting, developer James Barbado said that gas would be used rather than electric because of a lack of available electricity and because we really don't have heat pumps that work in Rochester's climate. There are two distinct factual errors in that statement. First, there is enough electricity to put heat pumps in the apartments you're approving. Generally speaking, peak electric load is in the summer, while heat pumps use most of their electricity in winter. In the state as a whole, the difference between peak summer load and peak winter load is 2 gigavolts. That is so much excess capacity that even if we were to install heat pumps twice as fast as we are now, we wouldn't strain our winter power grid for at least 10 years. More specifically, you can determine available power anywhere in the local grid just by looking at RG&E's electrification capacity maps. I did it. None of your sites has a capacity problem that would prohibit heat pumps. Second, we do have heat pumps that work in Rochester. I personally have a heat pump without gas backup, and it works well. Look at the state of Maine. 1 out of 4 households there is heated with a heat pump. Thousands are apartment dwellers. They do fine in winters a lot colder than ours. Finally, a lot of contractors seem sure that an electric build is more expensive than a gas build, even though the facts say it's cheaper. We at Citizens Climate Lobby have worked hard to find out where this misinformation came from. It certainly wasn't from examining the data. As best we can tell, the fossil fuel industry is passing on lies to the builders, and they aren't asking enough uncomfortable questions. Now, it is true that a heat pump costs more than a furnace. The rest of a gas build is more expensive, though, and it will get worse with the repeal of the 100-foot rule in April. The average cost of installing a gas hookup to a new apartment building is $10,000 to $15,000. When RG&E can't spread that cost out to all the ratepayers, gas install prices will skyrocket. Of course, we are a climate group, and building all-electric apartments would really help move the country's climate action plan. But as I said, we are interested in durable climate actions. It would really set us back if these apartments went all-electric and it didn't work out. So if the board has any information that says what I told you is wrong, we'd like to hear it. As I said, the facts are really important to me. But if you don't, I strongly encourage you to think again about allowing these apartments to have gas appliances. Otherwise, you'll lock the future occupants into outdated, inefficient technology. That would not be a good way to award your tax breaks. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Blair. And thank you, Ms. Butler. I appreciate your comments. We only had those two, but I always like to ask, is there anyone else in the audience who would like to make any public comments? No, everybody not? Okay. And your comments are duly noted. You're not the first individuals who have come to this body to express your concerns over climate change and our obligation to make sure that we have a environment and a community that's sustainable not only for us but for future generations. And so that's something that is important to us, and it is something that we're talking about. So it's a valid concern, and we appreciate your comments. Okay. Thank you. Moving on, local labor monitoring report. Mr. Colin Loki, Kevin's brother, are you here? All right.
Good morning. So this is the July 2026 monthly committee report. So this report covers site visits between July 1st and July 31st, 2026. During this period, Loki Brill made 72 monthly site visits. We made 2 follow-up visits. We checked residents for 875 workers. Of those workers, 4 were non-compliant, 3 were out of area at 135 FedEx Way on July 27th. 3 workers from Heartland Construction were out of area. All of the workers were off-site the next day as of the 28th. We had 1 invalid ID at 2851 Clover LLC on the 30th. 1 worker from Cantonary had an invalid ID, and he had a valid ID on the follow-up visit on the 31st. There was 1 new COMIDA sign delivered to Fine Bagels Inc. And that's what I have. Any questions on that report?
Any questions? Okay, none. Now if you don't mind, the exemption report, please.
Okay. So following verified local labor exemption requests were processed in July of 26. So Del Monte Development LLC, GFY Services LLC, Specialized Construction. GFY Services, located in Valley, Alabama, will be installing Marriott branded furniture, fixtures, and equipment at the Del Monte Development LLC project located at 460 East Henrietta Road in Rochester. Marriott hotels have had their own furniture that they use on the properties, which they use authorized installation teams around the company. M Group, which is M Stone and M Shower, are Marriott brand specified suppliers of custom specialty furnishings and fixtures for the AC Hotel and Element Hotel brands. The products that M Group manufactures require specialty trained teams and personnel to assemble and install these products. For this project, they will be performing the following work: installing all guest room casework, installing all guest room shower systems, installing all first floor common space casework and furniture, and installing first floor bar systems. Certified installation partners undergo factory approved testing for M Group products. GFY Services is one of the approved and certified installers, partners of M Group. There are no local M Group certified installation partners in the upstate New York region. The total number of workers on this project will be no more than 6. Any questions on that one?
Questions for Colin from the board? Okay. There being none, thank you
Okay.
very much. And,
Second exemption we have on here is for 40 Jetview Drive LLC for Murphy Brothers Contracting, being no local labor available. So Burnett General Contracting is handling all construction over the 40 Jetview Drive LLC project at Jetview Drive in Rochester. They have hired FG Rayburn, Mason Contractors, a local company, to perform masonry work on the project. Unfortunately, Rayburn is running incredibly thin on labor and cannot commit to fully staffing the job, and thus putting the project schedule in limbo. Chris Burnett, the president of Burnett General Contracting, reached out to several local companies and unfortunately cannot commit to the schedule. He also spoke to BAC Local 3, Bricklayers and Allied Craftworks, but their price would be significantly higher than Rayburn. They're hoping to supplement the labor shortage with employees from Murphy Brothers Contracting, located in Auburn, New York, to assist with the labor on spread footing, along with some Burnett employees. Rayburn would then come in and finish the job once more local labor is available. The project is already behind schedule and are hoping to be operational for their International Optics Seminar in October of 2027. This exemption would only seek a total of 6 out-of-area workers.
any questions from the board on 40 Jetview Drive? Okay. Thank you, callers.
Thank you guys very much.
So Kevin, you say hello.
Will do. Thank you.
Sure. Okay, no worries. Moving on, we are going to now have the financial report. I'll turn it over to you, Greg.
Great. Good afternoon, everyone. I will be brief. Financials through the first 7 months of the year, you can see our cash is up approximately $700,000, mainly for working capital needs to support the workforce development program. As you can see, our investments are down approximately a little bit more than that, really to support our working capital needs as we look out for the next 6 to 12 months. In terms of our investments, we have approximately 9 different treasury notes that mature between October of 2026 and June of 2028, and currently laddering those in treasuries to limit and exposure and maximize our return. Overall, our other assets and liabilities are in line with our budget and expectations. As you can see, our income and expenses for the first 7 months, our income is generally performing better than expectations, although something to be noted, this year we did back weight our revenue. Generally 75% of our revenue occurs in the last 2.5 months of the year. We tried to model that in our budget, although we're certainly, as you can see, performing way better than expectations and budget, and better than last year. So all good signs there. But the last 3 months of the year is always the most telling sign of where we're going to end up. In terms of our expenses, you can see they're pretty much in line to what we have budgeted. Most of the differences, the small differences there, are really timing expectations. But again, good start to the first 7 months of the year to where we had budgeted. So all positive on that front.
Excellent, thank you. Excellent job as usual. The financial reports were previously circulated to the board. I believe everyone has had an opportunity to review them. Do you have any questions or comments for Greg? No? Okay. There being none, thank you, Greg. We will now move on to the most exciting part of the agenda, certainly, for us and for the people in the audience. We have our project applications. It's a pretty robust month for us. We have 6 applications that we have.
9 new projects.
9 new projects.
Modifications, right? Or excuse me, was there 6 that?
6 projects and 3 modifications. Okay,
yes,
no worries. All right, awesome. So let's get into it. The first one we have Crazy Dog T-shirts. Love the name. Anna, would you please read us the project summary?
Hi, my name is Pete Borelli.
Oh,
not
sorry.
yet. No,
I'm
hold
gonna
on.
read the project summary.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Crazy Dog T-Shirts Incorporated, a design and printing company operating currently in the city of Rochester, recently purchased and is locating its operations to 472 Atlantic Avenue. Crazy Dogs T-Shirts Inc. is proposing to renovate the building's interior and purchase new state-of-the-art screen printing equipment. The $2.4 million project is expected to create 6.5 FTEs in addition to its existing 61 FTEs. And the applicant is seeking approval for sales tax exemptions only. The benefit to incentive ratio is 53 to 1.
All right, perfect. Thank you, Anna. Now it's time, you're on. So, we have a representative, is it Mr. Pete, is it Borelli?
Yes.
Okay, Operations Manager. Welcome, would you please tell us about yourself and the project?
Thank you guys so much for having us. Been with Crazy Dog T-shirts 16 years. It was founded 20 years ago in my boss's dorm room, again, primarily selling, screen printing and selling novelty T-shirts and other items. 16 years ago, we had 6 people in a small warehouse at Village Gate. Now we're at 60 people in a 60,000 square foot warehouse. It's just not enough. We can barely keep up with demand. We're looking to add people, add equipment, and employees, and we're bursting at the seams. We don't have the room to grow and barely keep up with demand we have now. Plus, we're entering the licensed T-shirt market, which is properties from TV shows, movies. We expect the growth will continue to explode, and moving to this new building, which is right here in the city, the heart of the city where we want to be, it's going to allow us to not only keep up, but keep growing.
Any questions from the board?
Yeah,
Norm?
do you provide T-shirts for the Hammers?
We used to a long time ago. I'm just an Amerks fan.
So am I.
Yeah, good.
Business development opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyone else? Sure, Brian?
Yeah, I had a question. I think, well, first of all, I'm amazed at the sheer size of your warehouse at 60,000 feet for T-shirts.
It's a lot of
Secondly, that it sounds like you're entering new markets. Have you been able to test those markets? And is that the reason the new equipment's necessary? But, you know, you're making a big bet on the future, which is terrific if it works out. But can you talk a little bit about how you built your confidence around that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've built most of this business on our own funny novelty designs. We have a team of in-house artists and designers to create the designs. What we're entering is a whole new world. I'm finding out that I'm dating myself when I say this, but some folks here would be familiar with Chris Farley. The first license we purchased was all of Chris Farley's properties. And I just walked by on my way out, a pallet of Chris Farley T-shirts ready to go out. Matt Foley, motivational speaker from SNL, some of you might remember. We print all the T-shirts for that. Primarily on selling these on Amazon, and the sales numbers on Amazon definitely warrant continued expansion into that arena.
Wow.
That's just one example. Terminator's another one. It's already selling. And again, realize now that I'm dating myself, showing my daughter, 14-year-old daughter, movies from the 90s, feeling like I'm old.
I'm just curious to know, like, what's the business development strategy for the platform? Are there like RFPs that you go after to, you know, or is it primarily, you know, your own brands, you know, that you're creating and then you are kind of selling those into the marketplace?
Yeah, it's built off our own brands,
Oh, okay.
and just the success on Amazon, you know, just naturally dovetail the licensed products with and this is negotiating and interacting with the license holders, your Paramount Studios, whoever holds the license to these, and just building up both properties, not abandoning our own designs. We still have our own robust, probably 5,000-6,000 of our own designs that we'll continue to sell.
Okay.
And we need the space for both of those parts of the business to keep growing.
So you've had some success leveraging what studios and the license holders already have.
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
it's just barely begun on the licensing side. We built our own. If you go and check later after the meeting, search funny T-shirts on Amazon, you'll see us up at the top of it for whatever category, anything. So it's cool that this business was built right here in Rochester, and we plan to stay here in Rochester.
You don't live in a van down by the river, do you?
At the moment, I can get you a shirt that says that.
That's pretty good. Any more questions from the board? Sure, Miguel.
I'm just not clear, where you are right now, you're just expanding where you are, or are you relocating?
We're relocating, it's right around the corner. We're gaining about 40,000 square foot more in addition to our current space.
Do you own your current place?
Yes.
What are you doing with it?
I believe the space is gonna continue to be, we share the space with a charter school, that I believe may be expanding into our space. That's unclear at this time.
Anything else? A public hearing was held on August 13th. Robin, were there any comments?
No comments.
At this time, I have a couple of questions to ask you.
Yes.
Are you aware of our local labor policy?
Yes,
Do you anticipate any local labor exemptions at this time?
I don't.
And are you aware that any exemptions need to be requested 45 days in advance?
I am.
The secret process for this project has been complete, and at this time, entertain a motion and a second for inducement and final resolution approving the sales tax exemption. Moved by Norm, seconded by Lisa. Any discussion? No? Okay, there being no discussion, I'll now call the vote. Norm?
Yes.
Okay. Brian?
Yes.
Lisa?
Yes.
Rhett?
Yay.
Ray?
Yay.
Miguel?
Yes.
It's a yes from me as well. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Best of luck.
Thanks so much, appreciate it, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on, project number 2, 107th Street, Bridget's Drive LLC, Finger Lakes Chemicals LLC. Anna, would you please read the project summary?
Certainly. 107 St. Bridget's Drive LLC, a real estate holding company, proposes the construction of a 12,000 square foot expansion of an existing warehouse located at 107 St. Bridget's Drive in the city of Rochester for a related entity, Finger Lakes Chemicals Incorporated, which is a manufacturer of commercial cleaners, additives, and degreasers. The new warehouse will increase Finger Lakes Chemicals Inc.'s ability to produce, warehouse, and ship products. This is the first phase of a larger campus improvement plan. Finger Lakes Chemicals Inc. plans to add 3.5 FTEs in addition to its existing 26.5 FTEs. The $1.7 million project is seeking a real property tax abatement, sales tax exemption, and mortgage recording tax exemption, and the benefit to incentive ratio is 20-1.
All right, excellent. Thank you, Anna. We have a representative who's a consultant representing the project, Mr. Spencer Reed. Is that correct?
Thank you very much.
Mr. Reed, welcome, and
Thank you.
please provide us with any comments that you have.
Sure. So my name's Spencer Reed. I'm with Mitchell Design Build and R&H Architecture. We're the design builder for the project. Hans Blatter, the CEO, apologizes. He's out of town today, otherwise he would absolutely be here. Hans and his family have been running this business in Rochester for, I think, 70 years. They're going into their 3rd generation. So Hans's, connections to Rochester run deep, so he apologizes deeply that he can't be here. So this project, as you mentioned, this is part of a larger multi-phase campus project that we're working on. I've been working with Hans for almost 2 years now on this project. He has locations in Pennsylvania and Ohio. And with working through COMIDA and the city and the state, is committed to expand and operate here for the foreseeable future. So the first phase is a warehouse expansion to the St. Bridget's Drive. Their main campus is over on St. Paul, right across from the Genesee Brewery, kind of kitty corner. But this portion of the expansion will be strictly for warehousing and possibly a future production line down the road when they shuffle things around. The main reason is that in their market, a lot of their products, the companies that they buy raw, chemical or mixes from, are being purchased up by private equity, which is making it incredibly difficult for them to control their costs and be competitive in the marketplace, especially being a non-PE family-owned business. So the goal is to be able to control their destiny more by buying in larger quantity, holding more product in town, mixing and blending more products so they can ship more things out as needed. Happy to add any more color I possibly can if there's other questions.
I would have a question for them, but so they're okay, I guess, increasing their working capital and retaining all that additional inventory. I'm just wondering, what's their sales cycle and how often they actually sell through their inventory. That's not going to create any friction or cash strain for them by increasing their inventory?
I can try to answer that.
Sure.
I think I have a pretty interesting knowledge. Hans and I are also in a CEO group together, so I know an awful lot about his business. But 2 ways I'll answer that question. One, they own, I think it's 7 or 8 different properties. All of them they own debt-free. So as far as leverageability, they're not levered at all and have a huge amount of potential asset that they can get to for working capital if needed. The other point that I wanted to make as far as sell cycle and so on, they have seen anywhere from 8 to 14% growth on their business year over year, and a lot of that has been hinged and restricted by lack of product. They, in the last few years, unfortunately, Monroe was one of their largest customers, and Monroe obviously, made some different decisions about what they were doing in Rochester, and no longer is purchasing from Castle. So in 1 year where they lost, I think that was like 14% of their business, they lost that and still gained 12% traction or something like that. So they've seen steady growth, they've hired more sales associates, and they're trying to expand their footprint geographically. So I think that sort of tries to answer those two questions best I can.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Spencer, Hans is a legend, he's been around forever. How deep is the bench? Who's behind
Yeah,
Hans, and are there people that's gonna back him up?
I can absolutely, 100% can answer that one. So Christian, his son, is working into the business right now. He's graduated college and working into the business. Aiden, his younger son, is going through architecture school right now and has interest in the business as well. So Hans has no plan that I'm aware of in the short term of, succeeding and heading out. I think just like his father worked there until he was in his, into his 80s. I think Hans will be there for a very long time. But Christian is already involved and has been involved with these projects with us on a day-to-day basis.
Thank you.
Yep.
So private equity is trying to roll up all of its competitors into a massive purchasing advantage?
They're actually at the next level up, so they're buying all the chemical companies that are manufacturing the chemicals, right? So, as most of the chemical companies around here, not many of them actually manufacture chemicals, they blend products, right? And create, Castle does a lot of, I don't know if you've seen their glass cleaner, that's one of their most famous products. But they do a lot of blending of soaps and different, hand degreasers, the gritty hand cleaner, the orange clean stuff. So the PE is buying up the manufacturers. And then of course, Hans being a smaller purchaser in the grand scheme of things, they look at them and either jack their prices or push them out. So I can't remember the exact numbers, and I wish Hans was here to say this, but he showed us a graph or a sheet showing how many different chemical companies they had bought from over the last 10 years. They're currently only buying from 2 out of 12 now, because they've all been bought up and either closed because they've consolidated, or they've pushed out of the market because of costs.
But he's confident he won't be squeezed out of the business.
Yeah, he's already, changed all his buying procedures to other family-owned businesses and trying to, work with them. And there's obviously talk about possible,
consolidation.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds
Controlling his destiny.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Could you briefly talk about the larger campus improvement plan, please?
Absolutely, yeah. So, forgive me, I don't remember the exact numbers on St. Paul, but they own their main campus is 2 buildings which are connected. So you'd look at it and think it's one main building, but it's 2 buildings actually. Kind of kitty corner from the brewery. They're 4-story buildings, fully occupied by Castle. They also own on the corner of St. Paul and St. Bridget's, a relatively unused defunct building that we have an open demolition permit with the city to demolish the back 2/3 of, because they're in imminent failure at the moment. We're gonna demolish that. He's already doing a parking lot project, which is not anything that we're asking for COMIDA. And then that building that is on the corner, he plans to take that building and do some sort of a conference center museum for Castle products, kind of their business hub. So that's a project that we would potentially be coming back in the future. And he's also looking at completely renovating his entire office area in the main structure, which is 60 years old from renovations. We're working on those designs and pricing literally right now. So hopefully we'll be back in the next number of months with a bigger plan for you.
All right, thank you. There was a public hearing that was held. Robin, were there any comments?
No comments.
Okay. This time I have a couple questions for you, if that's okay?
Yeah.
Are you aware of our local labor policy?
Absolutely.
Do you anticipate any local labor exemptions at this time?
No, we do not.
And are you aware that any exemptions need to be requested 45 days in advance?
Yes, sir.
Great. The secret process is complete for this project, and at this time, I will entertain a motion and a second for inducement and final resolution approving a sales tax exemption, a partial mortgage recording tax exemption, and partial real property tax abatement. Moved by Brian, seconded by Miguel. Any discussion? There being none, I will call the vote. Norm?
Yes.
Brian?
Yes.
Lisa?
Yes.
Rhett?
Yay.
Ray?
Yay.
Miguel?
Yes.
It's a yes for me as well. Congratulations.
Thank you guys.
Yeah,
I'll let
absolutely.
Hans know immediately. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Project number 3, we have Shoecraft Road Apartments LLC. Anna, would you please read the project summary? Great.
Shoecraft Road Apartments LLC proposes construction of 4 two-story, 10-unit apartment buildings in the town of Webster. The project will create 40 new rental apartments consisting of 8 one-bedroom units, 24 two-bedroom units, and 8 three-bedroom units. Rents will range from $1,700 for a one-bedroom unit to $2,700 for a three-bedroom unit. At least 20% of the units, or 8, will be affordable units with rents averaging 90% AMI based on household size. All units will include washers and dryers, stainless steel appliances, and plank flooring. Site amenities include a sport court, dog park, and residential and visitor parking. There are 2 existing structures on the property, one of which will be converted to a single-family home and the other into a community center. The applicant is seeking approval of a sales tax exemption, mortgage reporting tax exemption, and qualifies for the Enhanced Housing Plus real property tax abatement recommended in COMIDA's housing study. The $12 million project is projected to create 2 direct FTEs and has a benefit to incentive ratio of 7-to-1.
Excellent. Thank you, Anna. We have a representative from the project here. We have a Mr. Nick, forgive me if I pronounce your last name correctly. Is it
Graziosi.
Graziosi?
Yeah. Nick Graziosi with Gerber Homes and Shoecraft Road Apartments LLC. Here to answer any questions you might have about the project. It's pretty straightforward, 40 units that we're building on Shoecraft Road in Webster. Happy to answer any questions at this time.
Maybe tell us a little bit about your firm, your background.
Yeah, so Gerber Homes was founded by my grandfather, and then my uncle joined the company. This was back in like the 80s, and then my father John joined in the 90s. We've built homes in Monroe County and Wayne County ever since then, and we built about 50 to 60 new homes a year. And then we built some apartments when we had enough cash to be able to start those. So we own about 250 existing apartments. This project will be 40, and then we have 250 additional units we're going to be building in the town of Ontario.
Excellent. Any questions from the board? None? Okay. They're letting you off easy. See, I shouldn't have said anything, yeah, go ahead.
He's hitting all the right points.
That's right.
So his numbers are where they should be, he's hitting the right points, and when you do that,
Makes it easy. Yeah.
Thank you, appreciate that.
Yeah, excellent. Okay, there was a public hearing that was held on the 13th. Robin, were there any comments?
Yes, there were comments. We had a total of 5 public comments and 1 written comment. Everything was shared with the board, the live stream link, as well as the written comment.
Sure, okay, thank you. I have a couple questions for you, if that's okay?
Yeah.
Are you aware of our local labor policy?
Yes.
Do you anticipate any local labor exemptions at this time?
No.
Are you aware that any exemptions need to be requested 45 days in advance?
Yes.
Secret process for this project has been complete. At this time, I entertain a motion and a second for inducement and final resolution approving a sales tax exemption, a partial mortgage recording tax exemption, and partial real property tax abatement. Moved by Lisa. Seconded by Brian. Is there any discussion? There being none, I'll call the vote. Norm?
yes.
Brian?
Yes.
Lisa?
Yes.
Red?
Yay.
Ray?
Yay.
Miguel?
Yes.
Yes for me as well. Congratulations.
Awesome, thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, making good time here. We have project number 4, which is King Park 2022 LLC. Anna, would you please read the project summary?
King Park 2022 LLC, a real estate development company, is constructing a multi-phase project which will include the construction of 8 pole barn style buildings totaling 88,000 square feet. The buildings will be designed to meet the needs of local small businesses and skilled trades contractors in search of affordable rental spaces for commercial operations. This application represents the second phase and consists of the construction of 2 12,000 square foot buildings and 1 8,000 square foot building. Each building will be divided up into multiple units with associated parking, office space, and related facilities. The project is projected to create 3 new FTEs. This is a $3 million project seeking a mortgage reporting tax exemption sales tax exemptions, and real property tax abatement. The benefit to incentive ratio is 14:1.
Okay, excellent, thank you, Anna. We do have a representative from Rochester Earth Inc. As coming on the project. You guys really tested me today with these last names, I have to tell you. Mr., I know how to pronounce your first name, Austin.
Yep.
Is it Vicosil?
Viscachill?
Viscachill, okay.
A little tricky.
I tried, I'm sorry.
No, that's
People
all right.
butcher my last name all the time.
I get it all the time, but I totally understand.
Would you please tell us about your project?
Yes, so this is the second phase. Phase 1 is completed, and we've had great turnout with it so far. We have 1 unit left to rent, and we've got quite a few interested parties. And we've actually had quite a few parties show up and say that the last remaining space is too small. So they're actually looking forward to phase 2 being completed so they can come back and possibly have a larger space. We're working on getting some, written pre-lease commitment type things from those companies. But Rochester Earth is the developer on this project, and we have taken one of the already constructed buildings for ourselves. In the last month alone, we've hired 5 employees, just because we've been able to take on larger jobs with more shop space. And the goal here is to help small businesses move from their homes where they might be operating to having an actual physical location. The owner of Rochester, Andrew Vieira, actually was operating out of his home before he constructed his office here. He's just been able to really grow and expand himself.
That's awesome. Is it any type of business, or do you anticipate that these would be businesses who can benefit from being in close proximity to each other, and you'll be able to create some economies of agglomeration, perhaps?
Yeah, so we're really open to it's industrial zone, so open to anything like that, but we've had an industrial diesel mechanic that is taking up a bay, and then right next to him is actually going to be like a car repair teaching program, and so they're excited to be right next to each other. We've got a snow removal company that's moved in, a plumbing company, so all of these companies are actually starting to talk together, like, oh, I've seen your stuff around, so
sure.
Now they're actually getting to connect face to face and interact with each other. Hopefully that helps them out.
Perfect. Any additional questions from the board? Okay, no questions. Anna, there was a public hearing that was held on the 13th. Robin, were there any comments?
No comments.
Okay. I have a couple questions for you, if that's okay. Are you aware of our local labor policy?
Yes.
Do you anticipate any local labor exemptions at this time?
We do not.
And are you aware that any exemptions need to be requested 45 days in advance?
Yes, we are.
The seeker process for this project has been completed. This time, I will entertain a motion and a second for inducement and final resolution approving a sales tax exemption, a partial mortgage recording tax exemption, and a partial real property tax abatement. Moved by Lisa, seconded by Rex. Any discussion? Okay, there being none, I'll call the vote. Norm?
Yes.
Brian?
Yes.
Lisa?
Yes.
Rex?
Yay.
Ray?
Yay.
Miguel? It's a yes from me as well. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Appreciate your time.
Absolutely. Sounds like a great project.
Yes, very excited.
Okay, project number 5,
Yes.
Panorama Landing LLC, Town Square Health. Anna, would you please read the project summary?
Yes, Panorama Landing LLC, a real estate holding company, proposes construction of a new 9,000 square foot building in the town of Pittsburgh for its tenant, Town Square Health, which is a physician-owned primary care practice. Town Square Health is considered retail under Section 862 of the General Municipal Law. The project qualifies as a unique facility, as this is the first of its kind in Monroe County to tailor services to older adults on Medicare, while offering on-site telehealth appointments with specialists. The $3.9 million project is seeking a sales tax exemption, mortgage reporting tax exemption, and a real property tax abatement. The project is projected to create 30 new FTEs in addition to an existing 2 FTEs, and the benefit to incentive ratio is 90:1.
Excellent, thank you, Anna. We have Evan Gomina from the project and a Dr. Michael Mendoza from Town Square Health. Welcome. Please provide us with any comments that you have.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So this facility is a new ground-up facility, 9,000 square feet, located in our Panorama Landing project. It would be the 5th building in the park from its inception back in 2019. We have a couple other medical users in the park, as well as Monroe County Sheriff's Office, plus some professional office users. So obviously, as you know, and as we've talked in the past, our construction costs continue to rise. It's getting harder and harder to attract new businesses to Rochester, and so seeking incentives to help bridge the gap of what we can get these guys in the building for. So with that, Dr. Mendoza's here to talk about a little bit about Town Square Health, why they're coming to Rochester as their second city they're in beyond Chicago, and I'll let you discuss the use.
Good afternoon. I'm Dr. Michael Mendoza. I'm a family physician here in Rochester. Town Square Health is a new model of care. Town Square Health is built on value-based care, which is different from any other kind of healthcare we have in Monroe County today. Right now, you all are probably accustomed to fee-for-service medicine, which is that you go to the office, your doctor, they charge you for the visit, for the services, for labs and studies and so forth. The model that we are developing is considered value-based. So it's a capitated model where members, in our case, Medicare members, would have normal health insurance through Excellus or MVP or whatnot, and then we would contract with the payer for a per member per month capitated fee, which would allow us to take care of that patient's total care for a period of time. So I'm not worried about seeing them often unless I need to. I don't even have to see them in the office if I don't have to. So we'll do telemedicine, we'll go to their house, I will see them in the hospital, do house calls, all the things that we need to do to keep them out of the hospital, because that is what's driving up healthcare costs in our community and across the country. And we know that as healthcare costs increase, this is a cost that's not just borne by the patient, it's also borne by businesses. Because as healthcare expenditures go up, hospitals charge more, the payers have to pay more, the payers need that money, and the money comes from us. Employers who employ have employer-based health insurance, or private citizens who pay for their own insurance. So we're looking to bring a new model of care to Rochester, Monroe County, and this is completely new. We have a temporary site that's opening in 2 weeks, and this would be our first permanent site located in Panorama Trail.
Sure, Brian?
So I'm trying to understand how this works. So you have Medicare, which is this giant entity that operates the way it operates. Did you have to get certain approvals from this, or did your first unit in Chicago, is this a new model they're testing, or can you expand on that and tell them? I heard what you said about fee for service versus total value care, but how are you going to get Medicare to approve the payments, I guess is the fundamental question.
So the company is based in Chicago. We would be their first market in terms of opening up to see patients. So I've been affiliated with Dr. Buchanan, who was our CEO for 20 years now. I knew him when I was in Chicago. And he reached out to me, to see if we could open this here in Rochester. This is a model that has been done in other markets. So Oak Street Health is one that you may be familiar with, ChenMed is another that you might be familiar with. And so the contracting occurs between us as Town Square Health and the local payers. So Excellus or MVP or Aetna would negotiate with us for a contract, and we would say, take care of you for $10 a year. Obviously it wouldn't be. So Excellus would pay us $10, and then when you go to get care, he would pay for you out of that $10 pot.
So you have to get your estimating right, because Excellus is going to want their piece,
right,
and you've got to earn a profit.
Right. Well, so we need a panel of patients. So this wouldn't work with 2 or 3 patients, right, because if one person gets a heart transplant, your business model is
right. That's where.
So if we have, say, 500 or 750 patients, that's a large enough pool for us to serve essentially as the insurance company.
And Excellus brings you the patients.
Right, and this would actually be profitable for Excellus, because studies have shown that this model of care decreases total utilization, improves hospitalization rates, improves unnecessary ER visits. So we save Excellus money, we save the community money. And so any margin that we gain allows us to grow.
So it saves the person as well as the insurance companies by staying out of the hospitals.
The person wouldn't see any difference. The person would pay your insurance premium to whatever you pay for that. What we hope is you'd have better health care, because you don't go to the hospital, because we do a really good job taking care of you, so you don't need to go to the hospital. So there wouldn't be savings per se, but hopefully you have a better healthcare.
What type of wellness programs do you offer, specifically to seniors, and what type of strategies do you utilize?
It's all based on prevention. Prevention, when we're talking about Medicare beneficiaries, typically 65 and older, so, chronic illnesses, tend to, occur in our 50s and 60s. So what we're trying to prevent are the complications from chronic illnesses. So these are long existing, well-studied, preventive, things like going to the doctor on a regular basis, having transportation, having food, having housing, having all the basic needs met. Working with local community partners, meeting with Lifespan, Barrow, all of these, partners that I've met throughout my days in Rochester, to help their members who access care through us have transportation, all of those needs met. And then utilizing technology. Can we utilize technology so we can eliminate that transportation factor, where we can do physical therapy through technology that we place in somebody's home or they use through their iPad or TV? To do physical therapy, to do cardiac rehab, to do all the things that we know will help keep them out of the hospital.
So to make sure I ask this question correctly. First of all, compliments to your team for getting creative to solve a problem that's just not local. It's as we know, it's a national problem. But there's a certain element where individuals have to self-select into the program. And so, as that relates to the comments you made about, reducing the burden on hospitals and, healthcare in the future, is there any data to show, because I guess what I'm saying, the person who self-selects in is also probably the person who would otherwise go and see their primary care physician anyway, and be the person who is most likely to receive like that long-term care and preventative health. And so how is this set up to really help individuals who otherwise would not do that, right? Is there a way to help curb that problem in the future? If that makes any sense? Or do you understand what I'm saying?
I would be their primary care doctor.
Okay.
So I will be taking care of these patients. Presumably they're either new to the community and don't have a doctor, or their doctor is retiring, which we're hearing a lot of. People's doctors are going to concierge medicine and they need a new doctor, even though they've been residents of Monroe County all their lives.
Okay.
We would be their healthcare team. And so I would be taking care of them along with a team of people. And, in some sense, it's competition with existing healthcare. Okay. But it's a different model of care, so we don't think of ourselves as competition.
I guess. Okay, great. The last thing I'll say, obviously, Evan and the Galena team, you guys always do a fantastic job. You have a great bench. Congratulations to hiring Kevin Wilmot on your team. He does a fantastic job, so I know he's helping you guys out in the finance department pretty significantly as well. So, congrats.
Thank you.
Congrats to you too. Any additional questions? No? Okay. There was a public hearing that was held on August 14th. Okay,
We had
were there any
we
comments?
had so many, we had to go over 2 days.
Yeah, okay.
No comments.
No comments, great. So I've got a couple questions that I have to ask to you, Evan. Are you aware of our local labor policy?
Yes.
Do you anticipate any local labor exemptions at this time?
No.
And are you aware that any exemptions need to be requested 45 days in advance?
Yes.
Okay. The secret process for this project has been completed. This time I'll entertain a motion and a second for inducement and final resolution approving the sales tax exemption, a partial mortgage recording tax exemption, and a partial real property tax abatement. So moved by Brian, seconded by Ray. Any discussion? There being none, I'll call the vote. Norm?
Yes.
Brian?
Yes.
Yes.
Lisa? Rhett?
Yay.
Ray?
Yay.
Miguel? Yes for me as well. Congratulations, motion carries.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for being here.
You're looking out for the screen.
Son? Yeah, looking out for the scenes, that's right. Okay. All right, and now the last project on our application on our agenda for the modifications, we have Pittsburgh Canal Side Properties LLC. Anna, would you please read the project summary?
Pittsburgh Canalside Properties LLC, a real estate holding company, plans to construct a mixed-use development on 7.5 acres in the village of Pittsburgh. The development will ultimately contain 156 apartment units and 7 unique 3-story buildings. This application is for the second phase of the project, which includes 4 buildings totaling 100 units. It's 4 of 7 and 100 of 156. The apartments will range from $1,900 rent monthly to $4,000 monthly rent, under 100, affordable to area median income earners under 150% AMI. The value attributed to phase 1 will not receive an abatement. The site was part of the New York State Brownfield program and was successfully remediated, including removal of over 90,000 tons of soil. This site will feature public benefit and amenities, including new public access points to the Erie Canal, sidewalks accessible to the public, gazebos, benches, landscaping, and docks. Upon completion, the project will create 24 direct FTEs in a restaurant and associated complex. The $45 million project is seeking a mortgage recording tax, sales tax exemption, and qualifies for COMIDA's Housing Plus Real Property Tax Abatement as recommended in the housing study. The benefit to incentive ratio is 8 to 1.
Excellent, thank you, Anna. We have a representative from the developer, Mr. Chris Nautler. I believe you're their counsel.
Yes.
Welcome.
Thank
And please tell us about the project and provide any comments that you want.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you all for having us today. As the chairman said, I'm Chris Nautler, General Counsel for Mark IV Enterprises. With me here today is Chris DiMarzo, the President of Mark IV Enterprises and the owner of Pittsburgh Canal Site Properties, and our Chief Financial Officer, Tim Reedy. Before I start, I'd like to take a moment to apologize to the COMIDA board and COMIDA staff for everything that happened in relation to our application 3 years ago. Both Chris DiMarzo and Steve DiMarzo regret their actions and their decisions during that process and have asked me to convey to you their sincere apologies. All of us at Mark IV have learned from that mistake and are committed to working with this board and this staff both collaboratively and cooperatively. We have a new project, a new application, and I hope you'll agree with me that this is a new day. We're here, like Anna said, for phase 2 and phase 3 only for the Westport Crossing project in the village of Pittsburgh. We're applying under the new Housing Plus program, which I think is very exciting, and Westport Crossing meets and exceeds all the criteria for the Housing Plus program. We're pleased to have the village of Pittsburgh's support this time around for our application for COMIDA benefits. I believe you have a letter from Mayor Plummer of the village of Pittsburgh indicating that support. And last week we finalized and executed a host community agreement with the village of Pittsburgh. Another thing to note is our project, both phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3, is all electric. There's no gas serving the project. All appliances exceed all energy standards. We've met and exceed New York State stretch energy code. So I think that we're doing exactly what those good folks who spoke earlier are looking for, and we're pleased to be doing it. So as Anna said, phase 2 and 3 is 100 units in 4 buildings, plus a restaurant and clubhouse. It also includes continued brownfield remediation, monitoring, management, testing, and other costs, which significantly increase the cost of construction. I'm going to talk more about that in a little bit. Westport Crossing provides significant economic benefit. We're going to have 24 full-time jobs, hundreds of construction jobs, most of which are union construction jobs. It's going to provide new customers for the local retail and restaurants in the village of Pittsburgh. We've got more than just economic benefits. We have public health and public safety benefits. We've installed traffic safety enhancements on Monroe Avenue. We've installed an upgraded water main on Sutherland Street, which allows for increased water pressure to fight fires at Sutherland High School and in that neighborhood, as well as on our project. We'll provide public access to the canal in the form of new public docks and public bathrooms. And we have extensive sidewalk network, landscaping, gazebos that will be accessible to all the members of the public, providing health and recreation benefits to local residents and driving business to local village shops and restaurants. as Anna said, this was a very large brownfield cleanup program, the largest in New York State in the year 2015. The 90,000 cubic yards filled dump trucks that would go from here to Buffalo on New York State Thruway, right? We turn an environmental disaster into a productive property that provides needed housing for area residents. Unfortunately, the reimbursement portion of the brownfield program ends at the conclusion of our phase one due to the timing. There's still ongoing construction and monitoring expenses that are required as part of the brownfield program, even though we won't get reimbursement. We have to have a full-time professional engineer or engineering training on site at all times. There's constant daily testing of soil, daily testing of water, daily testing of the community air monitoring program. Any soil that leaves the site has to be trucked all the way to a landfill instead of dumped anywhere, which is normally the case. All our construction workers on site who are in contact with the soil need HAZWOPER certifications. All the soil stored on site, like a topsoil pile, has to be covered each and every night so the water doesn't drain down and further any contamination. As you can imagine, this is all very, very expensive, and we're not eligible for further reimbursement from the brownfield program. So that's sort of a picture of where we are for phase 2 and 3. Like I said, I think Westport Crossing more than qualifies for the Housing Plus program, provides the needed housing, provides tons of construction jobs, provides permanent construction jobs, and health and safety benefits. And we hope you'll partner with us to go forward. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
Excellent. Thank you for those comments. Thank you for the apology. Do we have any comments from the board?
For myself, I mean, my only comment is I think it's an extraordinarily attractive product. I went to high school at then Pittsford Central School, and the smell of Monaco oil on the athletic fields was always there, and then my kids were there, and that continued until you got there. So as a citizen, thank you for that.
Thank you.
And I was impressed by the sincerity of the apology as well. Oftentimes in the world today, we hear apologies that you're not quite sure it sounded like an apology.
We mean that one.
No, so I appreciate that and wish you luck on the development.
Thank you, sir.
I like the housing numbers. For the one bedrooms.
Yes, sir.
I voted for it the first time because you had some affordable components there, and too bad you don't have any of that in this one right here. I would love to see affordable housing in Pittsburgh. If there's any way that you can do that now, I'm not asking, but as long as you keep in mind that there's a different type of workforce out there, and there may be some certain needs out there, anything you can do along those lines would be very helpful. And just to make sure that there's no, whatever that was paid for in the first phase is not coming out of this next phase right here.
Completely separate financing. So the ESL Federal Credit Union has tentatively committed to financing here, and we haven't closed, but I think they'll keep us honest on that.
Great, thank you.
Question, was the first phase all electric as well?
Yes, ma'am.
And you had capacity? No capacity issues?
There wasn't capacity issues here. Other projects we've had have had capacity issues not as bad as some you've heard of. I know Henrietta's struggling. We were able to get, actually, our project we're finishing up right now is also all electric. I think they were right. I think developers will see that this is the way to go for economic reasons as well as environmental.
It's commendable.
If there's capacity.
Well, it's commendable, but I take everything at a very measured pace. If I was going back to the mid-90s, everything was natural gas and not electric. Everybody was saying, you gotta go natural gas. And now we switch from that, everything has to be electric. So I think you have to have a balance.
I think you're right.
So, do you recall, Ray?
I do.
And I can tell you it's true, houses that were all electric, you know, people wouldn't even look at them unless it was Fairport Electric or Spencerport Electric because the costs were less. So now, on a real estate, you know, residential, if you've got an all-electric house, people kind of question it and say, where are my costs gonna be? But I do love that we're starting to bring green factors into these things.
I'm on Fairport Electric, but heat with gas, and it's far cheaper than heating with electric, even in Fairport Electric, because there's not enough capacity. They have to buy extra on the open market.
I believe we have a question from our distinguished board member, Ray.
I want to ask you, Truman, I'd like to make a comment about that nice apology letter if you feel it's appropriate.
100% support whatever you like to do.
So I read the letter from yesterday, and it was very well written. I guess the only question that I have is, why did this letter show up yesterday and not a year ago, or a year and a half ago?
I just want to place a finer point on that, if that's okay. The letter didn't show up yesterday. The letter showed up in July. It was circulated to the board yesterday, but I think the point is still relevant, which is maybe why now as opposed to why 2 years ago.
Thank you, Troy.
And it showed up yesterday. I'll take 100% responsibility for that, okay?
Well, so the answer there is, you know, again, an apology. I'm sorry it didn't show up. I'm sorry for what happened 2 or 3 years ago. Myself, as a representative of Mark IV, and the owners were, you know, passionate about this project, and like I said, they regret their decisions and their conduct, and what we did there. It was, you know, in the minds of the owners at the time, it was a business decision what happened there. Had we known 2 years ago that, you know, that an apology was desired, I think we would have done it then. I think we would have done it earlier than July as well. I know that we've been working with board and staff on this, and July was when it was sort of it came up. But I think we would have apologized sooner had we known, and I don't think it changes the nature of the apology. And Brian, I'm glad you said that it was sincere, because it was. And that was it's sincere from me, and it's sincere from our owners, because that's what they told me to do.
One quick question, just to double back. One, I just want to commend you on the full-on electrification of that. It's kind of unique in that regard. Hopefully that catches fire moving forward, but do you have some sort of backup generator or something, hypothetically you lose power to the structure, which is probably gas-fed, but I mean, it's the way of the world today?
I think we do. I know that as part of the project, we're dedicating a force main storm sewer with sewer pump, and a giant generator in case the force main loses power. I think in Monroe County, power outages are generally temporary enough. I don't think we have an on-site generator, but we do. But in situations like that, we have portable generators that we can bring in to make it through. In Ontario County, a lot of times power outages are 2, 3, 5 days.
Correct, yeah.
And everybody has a generator for their houses and apartment complexes, but I don't think that's necessary here. Fingers crossed.
Very good. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Are there any more questions from the board? Okay. There being none, there was a public hearing that was held on August 14th. Robin, were there any comments?
Yes, we had one speaker. That link was shared with the board, and also that person followed up with what she said in writing that was also shared with the board.
Okay, thank you. I have a couple of questions for you.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Are you aware of our local labor policy?
I am.
Okay. Do you anticipate any local labor exemptions at this time?
No.
And are you aware that any exemptions need to be requested 45 days in advance?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The secret process for this project has been completed. At this time, I'll ask for a motion and a second for inducement and final resolution approving a sales tax exemption, partial mortgage reporting tax exemption, and partial real property tax abatement. Moved by Brian,
Second.
seconded by Norm. Any discussion? There being none, at this time I'll call the vote. Norm?
Yes.
Brian?
Yes.
Lisa?
Yes.
Rhett?
Nay.
Ray?
Yay.
Yay?
Yes.
Miguel?
Yes.
It's a yes for me as well. Congratulations, the motion carries. Just want to say that, you know, this is obviously a project that has had a significant amount of history with COMIDA. We commend you for coming to this body and expressing your, I think, sincere apology. I think obviously was well received. We wish you the best of luck with the project. We believe that it's a project that is worthy of support, and we're happy to partner with you in it. And we look forward to brighter days in working with you and your team. So thank you for the apology. Thank you for coming in, and we wish you the best of luck with your project.
Thank you very much, and thank you all for working with us, and we're looking forward to this. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Moving on, we have project modifications. Okay, the first one is XC International LLC, which is a new tenant.
Yes, XC International LLC received board approval in April 2025 for a project consisting of construction of a 42,000 square foot warehouse with office space for its tenants Cargo Transit Inc. and Extreme Logistics Transportation Inc. in the town of Chilai. The applicant is now seeking approval for an additional tenant, Spectrum Northeast LLC, which is a media distributor and operator of communications infrastructure.
Okay.
We do have representatives here if.
Oh, there is a representative.
Yeah.
Please. Please state your name for the record and provide your comments.
How you doing? My name is Andre Carrick. I'm one of the presidents of X International.
Is there anything you'd like to share with us?
No, just Spectrum is going to come in as a tenant there, so we just wanted your approval for that. So just waiting for that. That's pretty much it. So same contractor and everybody's going to do it. Just if you have any questions for me, let me know.
Are there any questions from the board?
Thank you for coming in. No, that means a lot, because it means that you care about, what's going on, you care about our time.
Yeah.
And, Spectrum is a monopoly around here, so
Yeah.
you'll work with them, hopefully they're paying you well.
Yeah, we're excited about it. So yeah, we appreciate you guys also for your time. So.
All right, great. Is there a motion and a second to approve the sublease of a portion of the facility to Spectrum Northeast LLC? So moved by Norm, seconded by Lisa. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? There are no abstentions. The motion carries. Congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate you guys.
Modification number 2, Precise Tools and Manufacturing Incorporated. No representative, but Anna, would you please?
Certainly. Precise Tool Manufacturing is constructing a 40,000 square foot addition to an existing facility in the town of Gates, and this project was approved by the board in June of 2025. This applicant is now requesting an increase in project costs of $1.4 million due to the increases in material and labor costs. The new sales tax exemption is not to exceed $280,000. The total project cost is now $5 million.
Okay. No representative, but does anyone have any questions for Anna or staff? Okay. There being none, is there a motion and a second to approve an increase in project costs? So moved by Brian, seconded by Rhett. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No abstentions? The motion carries. And then we have the executive director discussion items. On which, please, is that it?
Thank
I thought
you.
we had 3.
I thought we did as well, but
Are there not 3?
No, one
they
we
pulled.
pushed it.
Oh, that's right.
We pushed
Okay.
one to
We pushed to
September, sorry.
Okay, no worries.
The fluidity of how
Sure.
these projects move. So
understand.
thank you for everyone's flexibility.
Okay. Dashboard.
The dashboard, is it indicative of robust project activity, Truman? As you pointed out off the top of the meeting, we have, I think because of economic conditions, a lot of project owners are looking for ways to offset costs of needed capital expansion, and so we do have projects coming our way in the housing approach that COMIDA has taken has opened up the opportunity for us to work with more developers and more project owners. So as Greg pointed out too earlier on in his remarks, we're in a healthy position in terms of the fee income that we're accruing. But we look forward to, before the end of the year, reporting on even more activity.
Sure.
So, and thank you to staff for all their work behind the scenes to tee up these projects. The next item.
I had a question
oh, yes.
Yeah, no, just a sort of anecdotal, because it's still too early, but is it the sense of the staff that our new housing policy has at least created a buzz that we feel good about?
Yes, it's moving the needle.
And do you have any anecdotal stuff to make us feel good?
I would love to be able to put some actual quantifiable data in front of you as to how COMIDA is supporting the need. In terms of anecdotes, I think developers who otherwise might have been a little trepidatious about the scale of certain projects, now that they know that these programs are available, it's perked their interest and they're reaching out even as they're in early planning stages of projects. So I think certain developers are taking plans more seriously that perhaps they otherwise might not have moved so
That's the
aggressively
feeling you
forward
and your
on.
staff have.
Yeah,
Okay,
just
good.
understanding that, okay, there are programs available to help alleviate some of the cost pressures on residential property projects. Of course, the concerns that are raised about design and building materials, a lot of those considerations, obviously local communities host taxing jurisdictions, their planning boards and zoning boards of appeal and other public bodies must make decisions related to the specifics of what types of projects get approved and whether a heat pump is used, et cetera. So, but we look forward to continuing to having that dialogue with the board about climate action, the county's climate action plan. The county's comprehensive plan is coming out pretty soon. And we hope to firm up some strategy as to how COMIDA can meet the need with our policies. But it's, all in all, it's been a good thing in terms of project activity.
And if, just a comment, if the board thinks it's useful to provide revenue related to the housing, we can do that, right? I mean, it's just departmentalizing, saying, we invested in the study, right? Like, so it's nice to see a return on what that investment is. So if, whether it's monthly, quarterly, whatever that is, we can tell you, hey, here's what basically the fees that have been generated. What, if that's something that would be helpful, we'd be happy to,
You're offering more data to this board? I'm okay.
I was just thinking about that.
I love to
I
see
think
that.
it's important to see it.
Yeah.
I agree, I think that would be awesome to see that.
Maybe it's just a breakdown in the revenue line item. You can just code that revenue when you put it in. What do we use? So we use, what program? Well, you guys have your program.
Sage Intact.
Sage Intact, okay.
It'll be good to see, comparing, before the housing study, during the housing study, and then after, and looking at some of those key touch points, those key dates. I think 23, 24, 25, and 26, and see how that goes.
We'll work on that. And I think in the future, it would be great in the next couple of years to update a study. We can continue to work with the same provider.
It should be updated, economic conditions change over time, so this shouldn't be a static document.
Right.
No, we said all along that the study in the UTEP is a living document. We should be flexible enough to make changes as needed to meet the different times, so.
Absolutely. All right. I've been informed that we need to go into executive session. And so is there a motion at this time and a second to enter into executive session under section 105H of the Public Officers Law to discuss the proposed acquisition of real property where the value could be significantly affected by public disclosure? Moved by Brian, seconded by Ray. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Motion carries. We're now in executive session. Great.
Thank you. Allison, are we good on the live stream? I'm sorry.
Oh, so we're out of executive, oh, yeah, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, any objections? No, any abstentions? No, motion carried, okay. So now, is there a motion, oh, so that's,
No,
so we're good, okay.
So moved.
Chair discussion items, I guess. I don't have any discussion items, I said everything I need to say. Congrats, motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All right, so moved by everyone. All in
Just so
favor?
you know, I won't talk about anything happening at the county, because we'd be here